Assalamu alaikum everyone, this is Shafat Khan. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we will discuss a very important topic of English grammar, that is modal verbs. Many people are confused how to use modal verbs can, could, would and should correctly in English sentences. So today we will discuss very conceptually and with examples that how can you can use these modal verbs correctly in English sentences without any confusion. So let us start our today lecture. First, we have a modal verbs can. So can is the present tense or present form. It is a helping verb. All these modal verbs are auxiliary helping or auxiliary modal verbs. Okay, so can is the present form. We use can in present tense or in future tense. It expresses the ability or the possibility in the present tense or in the future. So we can use can for expressing ability to do something or the possibility or occurrence of something in the present or future. We can also use can for giving permissions or making requests. So let us discuss how we can use can in these all scenarios. In the first example, I can swim. So here I am expressing my ability that I can swim. So I can swim. Here can is showing the ability of I to swim. So I have the ability to swim. So can is used here is in the sense of ability. In the second example, can you help me? So here can is used in the form of requests. It is used to express someone request for help. So here it is used in a request. In the next sentence, you can go now. So it is a permission. Someone is giving permission to somebody else that you can go. So here can is used in the sense of permission. So all of these sentences are the present tense sentences. Now how we can use can in future sentences? Well, in future sentences we can use can in the sense of by using the words be able to or be going to. Let's suppose I say I will be able to do that. So by saying this, I mean that I am giving a sense of possibility that I can do this anything in the future. So I am using can in the in the sense of possibility. Okay, so can we can use can in the sense of future by using these words be able to, or we can use can in the sense of by using be going to. For example, if I say I will be going to do that, so these both of these sentences are approximately same. But if you want to use can as it is as a word, so then you have to show by the possibility the show the sense of future tense by using some words. For example, if I say I can help you tomorrow. So here the word tomorrow is showing the future tense. So from here in this word I can guess that I am talking about the future. I can help you. I can help you tomorrow. So if you wanted to use can in this sense for the future tense sentences, then you have to use some words for showing or indicating for future tense. Now let us discuss could. So could is the past tense of can. You must have remember that could is the past tense of can. So could is the past tense of can, and could is also used for ability, possibility or permission in the past. So remember that we use could for in the place of can to show ability, possibility or permission, but we tend to show these things in the past. If we wanted to express something in the past, then we use could. We can also use could for asking polite requests or suggestions. So we can also use could for polite request or suggestion. Let us discuss some examples. If I say, when I was younger, I could run faster. So here the word could is showing possibility. It is showing possibility in the past. So here we have two clauses. One is when I was younger, it is a subordinate clause or a dependent clause, and the second clause, I could run faster, this is the independent clause. So जब मैं यंग था, जवान था, तो मैं फास्ट दौड़ सकता था, मैं फास्ट दौड़ सकता था. यहाँ पे क्या पॉसिबिलिटी शो कर रहा है कि मैं दौड़ सकता था. So yeah, then we have another example showing a polite request. For example, if someone say, could you pass the salt, please? So here could is showing expressing a polite request that you are requesting somebody on the table to pass the salt to you. So here could is used in a polite request. Another sentence, she said, I could borrow her car. Here could is used in the sense of permission. In the sense of permission, this means that उसने कहा कि मैं उसका कार बारो कर सकता था, यानी कि यहाँ पे वो जो है वो परमिशंस दे रही है कि उसके कार को आप ले सकती थी, यूज़ कर सकती थी. So here we used could in the sense of ability, possibility or permission in the sense of past tense, but the use and the functions of can and could is approximately same. Both of them are used for ability, possibility or permissions or asking polite requests. Now we have another modal verbs, that is would and should. How we use would and should in sentences. So remember that would is the past tense of will, but we can also use would for shall. We can also use would for shall. So normally we use would for will, but you can also use would for shall. Okay, where we used would normally? Normally we used would for some hypothetical or unreal situations. When we wanted to talk something about unreal, untrue or hypothetical situations or scenarios, then we use would. Normally in English language we use would in conditional sentences. Inshallah, we will discuss conditional sentences in very detail in some other lecture, but here I'm just giving a clue to you that we normally use and usually use would in conditional sentences. For example, but you have to remember that would is the past tense of shall or will. Let us discuss some examples. If I had more time, I would travel the world. अगर मेरे पास और मज़ीद टाइम होता तो मैं पूरा दुनिया जो है वो उसको ट्रेवल करता. तो यहाँ पे आप देख ले, it is just a hypothetical scenario or unreal situation because the time has gone. And I'm just asking about the past. If I had more time, अगर मेरे पास मज़ीद टाइम होता, अगर मेरे पास मज़ीद टाइम हो तो टाइम तो चला गया है, वो तो गुजर गया है. ये तो एक अनरियल सी बात है कि आपके पास अब तो टाइम है नहीं. दैट इज़ वाई वी कॉल इट इज़ अनरियल सिचुएशंस. सो हेयर वी यूज्ड would. we use would. And you can notice that we have also used here the past tense had. Had is the past tense of have. Had is the past tense of have, and here we have also used the past tense of will, which is would. So here when we use the past tense in both the cases, in both the clauses, then we are showing that we are talking about we are talking about some unreal situations. In the next sentence, if I had wings, अगर मेरे पर होते, अगर मेरे विंग्स होते, I would fly around the world. तो मैं पूरी दुनिया पे जो है वो उल्टा, मेरी पूरी दुनिया उल्टा, यानी कि मेरे तो अब विंग्स हैं नहीं, और मेरे विंग्स जो है वो आ भी नहीं सकते, क्योंकि नॉर्मली ह्यूमंस के, इंसानों के जो है वो पर नहीं होते। तो ये एक अनरियल सिचुएशन के बारे में हम बात कर रहे हैं। तो इसीलिए हम यहाँ पे जो यूज़ करेंगे, हम वुड यूज़ करेंगे, हम वुड यूज़ करेंगे। लेकिन आप ये चीज़ याद रखें कि हम जब कंडीशनल सेंटेंसेस यूज़ करते हैं, ये हमारे पास जो है वो कंडीशनल सेंटेंसेस है। तो जब हम कंडीशनल सेंटेंसेस यूज़ करते हैं, तो जब आप इंडिपेंडेंट क्लास में जब आप जो टेंस यूज़ करते हैं, लेट्स सपोज आपने यहाँ पे पास्ट टेंस यूज़ किया, तो आप जो आपके पास डिपेंडेंट क्लास है, वहाँ पे भी आप जो है वो पास्ट टेंस यूज़ करेंगे। अगर यहाँ पे आपने फ्यूचर, अगर यहाँ पे आपने जो है परफेक्ट टेंस यूज़ किया, तो आप यहाँ पे भी परफेक्ट टेंस यूज़ करेंगे। तो इस चीज़ का आप ख्याल रखेंगे कंडीशनल सेंटेंसेस में। लेकिन यहाँ पे जो मैं बेसिकली बात कर रहा हूँ, वो वुड के बारे में बात कर रहा हूँ। तो वुड यहाँ पे हमारे पास क्या शो कर रहा है, यहाँ पे एक हाइपोथेटिकल और अनरियल सिचुएशन हमारे पास शो कर रहा है। नेक्स्ट एग्जाम्पल देखते हैं। It would be nice to buy a new car, but we cannot afford it. We cannot afford it. यानी कि हम ये कहना चाह रहे हैं कि ये एक उम्दा बात होती, एक अच्छी बात होती कि हम एक नया कार ख़रीदते, लेकिन हम इसको अफोर्ड नहीं कर सकते। यानी आप अफोर्ड नहीं कर सकते, ये आप कोई चीज़ अफोर्ड नहीं कर सकते, तो आप उसको ले भी नहीं सकते। यानी कि आप एक अनरियल सिचुएशन के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं, कि हाइपोथेटिकल सी सिनेरियो आप क्रिएट कर रहे हैं। तो इसीलिए यहाँ पे आप जो यूज़ करेंगे, यहाँ पे आप वुड यूज़ करेंगे। यू हैव टू यूज़ वुड। नाउ we can also use would for asking questions, but we use would for asking some polite questions. When we want to ask a question politely, we use would. For example, would you like some tea? For example, if somebody, a waiter asking you in a hotel or in a restaurant, so he will have to ask very politely. He must not be rude in asking for something. So he will or she will ask you very politely, and he or she will use would. He will use would. So he will use, would you like some tea? क्या आप चाय लेना पसंद करेंगे? So he will use would for asking politely. Now where we use should. Should is a very important modal verb. It is the past tense of shall. Should is the past tense of shall. But where we can use should. Normally we use should for advices or obligations or duties or conditions. We here will discuss should in the sense of advice, obligation or duty, but in the sense of condition we will inshallah use it in some other videos, because the use of should in condition as a condition is a bit unusual, and normally we don't use should for conditions. So we will inshallah discuss with some examples in next videos, that how we can use should in conditions. So let us discuss some examples. You should study for your exams. तुम्हें अपने एग्ज़ाम्स के लिए पढ़ना चाहिए. So here we used should in the sense of advice. We used should in the sense of advice. You are advising somebody that he should study for his or her exams. Now, in the second sentence, we should obey the rules of the country. So here it is also an advice. Here also it in advice or a duty. We can also say it is our duty. It is our duty to follow the rules or obey the rules of our country. So here it is our duty. So here we can say that it is should is used in the sense of advice, or as it is as well as in the sense of obligation or duty. Now the important thing about should that you must know that we can also use the should in the present tense and the past tense and in the future tense. So we can use should in all three cases, in all the three tenses. So but for that we have to use some helping words in combination with the word should. For example, let us discuss he should do the work. So he should do the work. Here the modal verb should is used in the sense of in the case of in present tense because the verb here is in the present tense. You should also remember you should also remember that we always use the always use main verbs after the modal verbs in V1 form are the base form of the verb. We always used the main verbs after modal verbs इन V1 फॉर्म, यानी जब भी आपके पास मॉडल वर्ब आएगा तो मॉडल वर्ब के बाद जब नेक्स्ट वर्ब आएगा, जो मेन वर्ब आएगा, तो वहाँ पे हम यूज़ करेंगे उसको V1 फॉर्म में. तो यहाँ पे आप देख लें, वी हैव यूज इट इन V1 फॉर्म or do. If we can see that after the modal verbs we have used the main verb in V1 form. It is in V1 form, obey. Here we have used study, V1 form. We can see that here after would we have used travel. So you always have to use verbs coming after the modal verbs in V1 form or the base form of the verb. Okay, the next examples in the case of should, he should have done the work. Here we have used should in the sense of past tense. You should have done. Then we have to use it is the past tense to have, then we have to use done. But here have is used in its in its V1 form. We also know that have is the V1 form and the past form of have is had. It is V2 form, and the past participle of have is also had, which is V3. So we have used here have in its V1 form because we wanted to express something in the past. Then we have to use have with the should in combination. Now in the third sentence, if you can notice, he should complete his project by tomorrow. So we have used here a word giving a clue about the future, tomorrow. So we saw that we can use the modal verb should in all three tenses, and the present tense, in the past tense, or in the future tense. So we discussed in this video four important modal verbs: can, could, would, and should. We saw that can be used for the ability, possibility in the present or in the future, or we can also ask we can also make requests or give permissions by using the word can. And we also saw that we can also use could in the ability, possibility, or permissions, but we have to use it in the past tense or in the past tense sense when we ask something in the sense of past tense. Then we saw that would and should. Would is the past tense of shall or will, and we use would normally for asking something in hypothetical scenarios or unreal situation. Then we can also use would for polite requests. Then we explain that should is the past tense of shall, and we also use it for advice, obligations, duties, or conditions. And we explained that we can also use should in all the three cases: present tense, past tense, and future tense. Inshallah, in the next lectures, we will also discuss some other important modal verbs like may, or might, or had better. Had, these all are the modal verbs, and always take the V1 form. So in the next lecture we will discuss some other modal verbs and their important uses.